right, and pretty good about this gathering that they've got now some sudden wind at their back, good reviews for the president's performance, even the market coming back today. How would you wrap it up?
Well, you know, Republicans generally were pretty favorable. The Democrats obviously see this through a different prism. I went this morning here at the Capitol to the press conference that House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi presented. She was very critical of the president. And don't forget, even though they might be riding this immediate wave politically after the speech last night, they have to figure out in a week's time how to fund the government again. They don't have an agreement on DACA and immigration. There's this question of the budgetary caps, sequestration, these mandatory cuts which were imposed some years ago. It hits defense very hard because that's the largest section of what we call discretionary spending here in Washington. There's no movement. There's no deal on any of those. And it's very hard to decouple that conversation about DACA from the spending arrangement. And so, you know, the question is next week, are they going to go in and vote for yet a fifth stopgap spending bill? The defense hawks in the House of Representatives and the Senate are not going to be too hep to that, Neil. They're wondering if they can do it again, because they're certainly not going to get any support from Democrats if they haven't resolved the DACA issue. Generally speaking, when I speak with Republican aides and senior sources here on the Hill, they don't think there's going to be another government shutdown. But again, you just don't know. They haven't moved the ball at all since the government reopened a week ago Monday. And keep in mind that the original plan was to fund the government till the 16th of February. Right. It's on to the 8th. They have less track to work with than they originally anticipated. So how they're going to deal with that is anybody's guess. You know,
another thing, Chad, if you indulge me, because it's a process that doesn't stop. Another prominent Republican announcing he's not going to stick around. Trey Gowdy of South Carolina indicating he will not run for re-election. Of course, earlier this week, Rodney Frelinghuysen, a New Jersey institution, a Republican who's been in there for decades, opting to go. We're up to, 33, I think, prominent Republicans have said they're stepping down and finding
35, yeah.
Wow,
34,
okay.
34
and finding replacements for them has proven a devil of a task for Republicans. What do you think of all this?
Well, it's always tougher to replace someone who hasn't been out there. You just don't know. Usually the members of Congress, there are advantages with incumbency because you have built a political machine, you're known, and otherwise you have to start from scratch. Remember, there was a little bit of a close race in South Carolina in the special election that ultimately elected Ralph Norman just a couple of months ago. I think it was back in the summer. And so that caught some people by surprise.
Well, Gowdy, was he in any trouble? I didn't think he would be.
No, people didn't think so. People didn't think so. But there had been signals for a long time here that Trey Gowdy, was probably going to leave after this term. Remember, he just became the chair of the Oversight Committee, succeeding Jason Chaffetz. So there's been a lot of turnover. And again, look at all of these committee chairs. You have Diane Black, who was the chair of the Budget Committee. You have Lamar Smith of Texas, who was the chair of the Science Committee. Greg Harper, chair of the House Administration Committee. When you start losing chairs, that's a problem. And keep in mind, when you have these wave elections, what often happens is they knock off committee chairs. It happened in 1994, and it happened in 2010 to the Democrats. The difference here is that not all of these districts are in play. Certainly, they could probably make a play and make the seat competitive for Bill Shuster, the Republican chair from Pennsylvania of the Transportation Committee. Certainly, the Frelinghuysen seat in New Jersey. Obviously, the tax bill is not popular in New Jersey because of the SALT issues.
He voted against it. Frelinghuysen voted against it for that very reason.
Right, exactly. But there are these trends. He's not the only one from New Jersey who's retiring. Frank LoBiondo, a Republican, is not seeking re-election. And again, so you see the trend of what it is in a state like New Jersey, which definitely has Democratic undercurrents, and it might be hard to keep those seats. Ed Royce in California is another one. That's a seat that Democrats believe is very flippable. He's the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee, I should say, in the House of Representatives. And again, the issues with the tax bill, that certainly is negative in California in most of those districts.
All right, Chad, thank you very, very much. I always appreciate it. Chad Pergram,